Hello, this is the Alien Wicked, and
And this is the Ducky Gwen. Welcome to yet
Mhm.
another episode of Ducky and the Alien. Tonight we're going to be talking about two stories. First one is going to be about basically the story references Chernobyl, and it's quite the silver lining to say the least. Many of you
Yep,
know about the Chernobyl incident of 1986, where it either killed a lot of Ukrainians or altered their lives
in
permanently.
such a way.
Yeah. And next up, we're gonna talk about Talking Heads' reaction to a song of theirs that Paramore covered. Specifically, we're
Yep,
talking Burning Down the House, their most well-known hit
okay.
that I know of. There are
You
plenty of
love, okay.
others. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about that particular discovery relating to Chernobyl. Uh,
Yes, I didn't think there was anything going on in there since the meltdown or explosion, if you would.
yeah, so now I'm gonna be turning on the screen share thingamajig. Now, if I could find the damn thing. Okay.
That's okay. Yeah, I understand.
Share screen. There we go. Okay, okay, okay. Alrighty.
Okay, let's see.
Okay. All right.
Chernobyl worms have special power study.
Yeah.
Okay, do you start? Because this is very interesting.
Yes, it is very interesting indeed. This is from Fox 8 News. Okay, and it was
Yep,
by a lady by the name of Talia.
telling.
And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You would think that Chernobyl would have such negative consequences for everybody involved, but apparently not for these one species. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. A new study has found worms collected in the Chernobyl exclusion zone have a special type of superpower. The 1986 disaster at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant transformed the area around it into the most radioactive landscape on Earth, researchers say. Well,
Yes.
everybody knows that, not just researchers. Anyway, continuing on. According to the
Mm-hmm.
International Atomic Energy Agency, the blast caused mutations in plants and animals. Understandably so.
Yes. Not good ones for people. People, spoiler alert, some people ended up with cancer because of that incident. Anyways,
Yeah,
after
after the
the
fact.
so
After the explosion, leaves changed shape, and some animals were born with physical deformities.
deformities, oh, so
Yeah, not
disabilities in
surprising.
a way.
Yeah, not surprising. That's what happens when something catastrophic as this happens.
Yeah, okay. And
Yeah.
let's see.
However, researchers
These,
at university found that chronic radiation hasn't harmed one creature. This is
yep,
quite the surprise, believe it or not. And get this, microscopic
yep,
worms living there today have been found to be exceptionally resilient to radiation, according to the study. And these are the worms in
yep,
question right here. Don't mind this thing.
yep,
Courtesy
yeah,
of
that's them.
Sophia Tinters. Yeah. And
Sophia Tinsley.
New York University researchers collected worms in the Chernobyl exclusion zone. They found the genomes of the microscopic worms undamaged. In recent
Mm-hmm.
years, some animals living in the area have been found to be physically and genetically different from the same creatures living out of the zone. Wow.
Yes, true.
Anyway, this
Yep,
study focused on 15 worms of a nematode species called Osgeus tipulae. I apologize if I butchered that, which has been used in genetic and evolutionary studies, according to researchers, excuse me. The researchers were surprised to find that using several different analyses, they could not detect a signature of radiation damage to the genomes of the worms from Chernobyl. Again, here,
Okay.
or the picture of the worms right here.
Yes. They're kind of
Obviously,
creepy
though,
looking.
yeah, obviously, though, that is an exception, not the rule. It
Yeah,
doesn't change the fact that a lot of catastrophe happened back in 1986, and the residue of its effects continue on to this day. So
that's
we need to keep
true.
in mind that. But this is a silver lining, however. This is the one silver lining from that incident that we didn't know about until decades after the
Today.
fact. Yeah,
Yeah,
as obviously stated here, that doesn't mean that Chernobyl is safe. It more likely means that nematodes are really resilient animals and can withstand extreme conditions, said Sophia
the term
Tintori,
is
of course,
called
talking.
extremophiles. The term is called extremophiles.
Oh, extremophiles? I've never heard that word
Yeah,
before.
that's what it's called. It's
Huh.
something like the worms there that we're talking about, where you can live in hot, cold, radioactive, acidic, or whatever that isn't good for any other creature.
Right.
Some people are extremophiles too, like some people can take the heat very well, and some people can take the cold very well. And then there's the wimps. Okay,
Yeah.
so where was the
Okay.
so
Ready?
what
Let's.
happened to the
Oh, yeah. I'm going back to it now.
yeah? Okay,
Right.
we don't know.
Okay. How's this?
Good,
Okay. Can you see it?
we don't. Yeah, I was just reading it, but okay, you can go.
Oh, just making sure. Okay. Can it help humans? Researchers say it could be important in the fight against cancer. Now that we know
Oh,
which strains of O. tipulae are more sensitive or more tolerant to DNA damage, we can use these strains to study why different individuals are more likely than others to suffer the effects of carcinogens, said Tintori. Yes, that would give researchers more information about why some humans are genetically predisposed to cancer.
yes, that's true.
Yeah,
Cool. That is cool. So the tipulae might help us find a cure for the little fart called cancer. I'm trying to be polite and not use the actual F word.
that's fine. Yeah, all good. This is
Yep,
especially
the
important. Yeah,
it is very important. I'm glad those worms exist because it could have saved my mother in a
yeah.
way.
Yes, it could save not only your mother, but countless others that have suffered from
Now it can
cancer.
save other people after her.
Yeah, people would benefit
That's
from these.
good.
Really. If it were all goes to plan, this could all work out for good in the long run, really. It may give hope for
God will
the
it
survivors of the Chernobyl disaster, really, especially because they
as
deserve
well.
peace and happiness in the world,
And a
after what
good
they've been
clean
through.
bill of health.
Yes, yes, a clean bill of health, especially important, especially important.
Yep.
Alrighty, we're gonna move on to the next story.
Okay.
And this is in regards to the cover the Paramore made of Talking Heads' hit song, Burning Down the House. For those that don't know who Paramore are, they were a hardcore emo band in the early to mid 2000s, but then they have since gone in a more different stylistic direction, which I actually really like because I really love 80s music. And for those that don't know who Talking Heads are, obviously they are known for their hit Burning Down the House as well as And She Was.
Yep. Okay.
Anyway,
So,
anyway, I'm gonna turn screen share back on.
okay. Not to the tipulae, but to the talking heads. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. This
Alrighty.
was fun.
Talking Heads
Yeah.
vocalist David Byrne has recorded a Paramore cover in recognition of Paramore covering Talking Heads. This is from Louder Sound. Yeah, I personally thought his
Okay.
response to that cover was pretty epic, to say the least. In fact, I have actually just listened to
Yeah.
Paramore for myself, and it slaps. Granted, it mostly stayed true to the original, but she added a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of sprinkle. She, that is Haley Williams, she added a little bit of sprinkle to it and really knocked it out of the ballpark. If you get the chance, you should listen
Yeah.
to it. It is good. It is fire. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna move on to their response. Barely a month after Paramore shared their cover of Talking Heads' classic "Burning Down the House," former Talking Heads frontman David Byrne has revealed that he has returned the compliment by recording a cover of a Paramore song, specifically the Tennessee band's 2017 single "Hard Times." Man, that is one of my absolute favorites for real. Hard Times is the bomb, and so is the video. And I also love the makeup that Haley wore in that video. Not to mention
Oh,
bleach blonde hair color that she had at that time. Oh my goodness. 2017, in my opinion, was somewhat of a good year for music. Hard Times is officially my favorite Paramore album. This might seem to contradict
okay.
the majority of fans out there who tend to prefer their more hardcore sound, but Hard Times is an absolute win for me.
Okay.
Right.
I see.
And as a display of mutual respect between the two artists, both songs are to feature on an exclusive 12-inch vinyl record due for release on record store date April 20th and
It's April 20th.
or 20 day. Okay. But yeah, last month it was revealed that Haley Williams' band has had been chosen as ambassadors for Record Store Day 2024, pronouncing themselves humbled by the accolade. That is really what I like about Paramore. They seem to be very humble people, and Haley, she comes off to me as down to earth. She really does.
That's good.
Posting about the split single on social media, David Byrne writes, Paramore recorded an amazing version of Burning Down the House for a Stop Making Sense covers album that A24 is doing in connection with the re-release of the film. Okay, so I barely know about this film till now, but Stop Making Sense was a live concert movie done by the Talking Heads. It originally came out in 1984. So let me
Mm-hmm.
deviate for a second here. So this is the origin story of Stop Making Sense. Don't mind that. And here's the picture of the lineup right here. The article, of course, is from the New Yorker.
I
Okay.
see that.
Yeah. And Stop Making Sense was directed by John Dim and obviously starred the group Talking Heads. And it was recognized as one of the finest concert films ever made. And apparently, a lot of reviewers settled on the word exhilarating to describe the experience of watching an expanded nine-member iteration of the four-piece group perform 16 of their best-known songs in an uninterrupted sequence of dynamically staged and photographed musical vignettes. So for this movie, for this particular so they had five more members to the band. Originally, the band only consisted of four people in the lineup, but the fact that they were willing to add more people, that sure is something. Really,
Mm-hmm.
really. We're gonna skip all that. Okay, so basically the band wanted it to be seen only in theaters, so they initially refused permission for it to be made available on videotape or shown on cable TV. Well, in the decades since, though, each release of Stop Making Sense on a new medium, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and streaming, has been greeted with fresh praise from succeeding generations of viewers and critics. Now, in anticipation of the film's 40th anniversary, the original negative has been reprocessed in a high-resolution 4K format and reissued once again for theatrical release. In the interest of promoting the film they collectively owned, the four former Talking Heads, Byrne, Jerry Harrison, Tina Weymouth, and Chris France. Okay, so for many of you that don't know, the Talking Heads have since broken up. Anyway, have taken part in a series of panel discussions and media events at screenings in Toronto, New York, and Los Angeles. This marks the first time that the band appeared together in public since 2002, when the group, which officially dissolved under contentious circumstances in 1991, was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And we're not going to get into those contentious circumstances, by the way, because we don't want to take away from the positive news of this all. And
Yep.
unfortunately, Jonathan Demme, the person that directed Stop Making Sense,
Oh,
died in 2017.
oh no, 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 no.
And he was 40 years
That's
old
bad.
at the time he made Stop Making Sense. Yeah. He was an avid
Hmm.
fan of Talking Heads since he first saw the band perform at Woolman Rank in Central Park in the summer of 1979. The four of them stood there like statues on this platform, he recalled. The following year, Dan achieved his breakthrough as a director with Melvin and Howard, a bittersweet comedy about a chance encounter in the Nevada desert between an unemployed factory worker and the eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes. Oh, there's a lot of dirt on Howard Hughes. Personally, for me, upon finding out said dirt, I really hate his guts, but again,
I hate his guts too.
we're not going to get into that for this video. He next saw Talking Heads perform in Los Angeles summer of 1983 and was stunned by the change in the band. The four former statues had turned into a dynamic interracial troupe of singers, dancers, and instrumentalists performing exuberantly arranged and choreographed versions of their songs. He quickly contacted the group through a mutual friend and pitched the idea of filming their show. And again, I'm reading too fast. Sorry, everybody, if you weren't able to follow along. As fans of Melvin and Howard, the heads agreed to work with them after hearing his thoughts about how and how not to present them on screen. On the advice of their manager, Gary Kurfers, the group financed the film themselves with the help of an advance from their record label in order to retain ownership and full creative control. For his part, Dem made it clear that he wanted to focus the whole production solely on the band's performance. Unexceptional as this might sound, it was a departure from the way that rock concerts had previously been presented on film, from Richard Lester's mock documentary A Hard Day's Night to Martin Scorsese's The Last Waltz, by dispensing with a backstory of the musicians coming and going, the logistics of staging the show, interviews with the band members, promoters, and
Hmm.
fans, and the fervent response of the crowd. Instead, Dan proposed to simply film the band on stage expertly while avoiding the rhythmic, fast-paced jump cut style of editing associated with the music videos being shown on a recently established platform, MTV. So basically,
Hmm.
this concert film was unedited. So I imagine there'd be a lot of pauses in between the performances, but we'll see, since
Yeah.
I don't believe either of us have seen the film ourselves. So,
No.
well, when either of us get around to watching it, I'll make an update about it, or you make it up,
Yeah.
or uh, anyway.
Okay.
Apparent austerity of this approach conformed to the minimalist art school aesthetic that Talking Heads had embraced since they first emerged as the albino and herd of ragtag bands that got their starts in the mid 70s at CBGB, the dive bar in a Bowery that served for a few brief years as the breeding ground of punk. In those days, surrounded by postured rock romantics as Patti Smith and Television and the Ramones. Of course, Television and the Ramones are my favorite. Okay. The Heads
Okay.
sought to make a virtue of their musical and theatrical limitations by adopting a performance style that was initially defined by its negatives, as Byrne described it, consisting of no rock moves or poses, no pomp or drama, no rock hair, no rock lights, no rehearsed stage patter, and perhaps most telling, and this is gonna sound
Yeah.
very contentious, no singing like a black man. Ooh,
Oh,
kind of an L
fuck.
right there. That was a bit of an L right there upon
Yeah.
reading this for real, but you know, he was only human, so
No,
please don't send him hate. Do not harass him or anything like that. We already have enough of this cancel culture
I
BS.
won't.
Yeah. This is mainly targeted at our audience, just so you know.
I know,
And
but I won't either.
yeah, anyway, we're gonna stop right here with this article. We're gonna go back to the main one. Alrighty. Posting about the split single on social media, David Byrne writes, Paramore recorded an amazing version of Burning Down the House for Stop Making. Oh, crap. I just read that part already earlier. That song is out now. The band told me that their song Hard Times was inspired by Talking Heads, so I learned it and recorded my version of the great song with a horn section. This was fun. The 12-inch is available on Record Store Day 2024. More info and a store near you at recordstoreday.com. Okay, and then we're gonna stop right
Hmm.
here. If you want to read the rest of the articles, you can find them in the description down bar below.
Okay, thank you.
So, those were quite the fun read.
Yes, they were.
Yes, and as a side note, Haley Williams had such awesome hair transformations over the years. My favorite color on her
Oh.
being a reddish orange. That color suits her the best in my opinion. I really
Yep.
like you've listened to Paramore songs too, right?
Who? Paramore?
Paramore? Yeah,
I
you
think
know,
I tried to listen to them, but I might listen to them again.
sounds good. Yes, yeah. Please look up Ignorance. That one is my absolute fave, as well as Playing God,
Okay, sounds good.
Brick by Brick. Okay, that one had a bit of an awesome video. Okay, that song just really hits you in the feels. It really does,
Yep.
especially with Haley Williams being blonde. Oh man, I tell you, Haley rocks every look that she had, though, with the exception of her hairstyles from 2013. But other than that, man, she is one of my style icons. Besides Kim Wilde.
Kim Wilde, yes, I've heard her. She's good.
Yes, Kids in America. We did discuss a lens cover of it in two of our previous videos, but
Yes. Yeah,
then,
heard that.
ironically, her cover of "You Keep Me Hanging On" by the Supremes was top notch fire. Okay, the
That's
Supremes
good.
background on "You
I
Keep Me
love
Hanging."
the
Yeah.
Supremes.
For background, the Supremes originally recorded it in the early 60s.
Yep, I know them. I heard about them through my mother, and then I kind of listened to them.
I see, yeah. So the Supremes, though, considering the nature of the lyrics, I've personally felt that their delivery fell short. When you think of those lyrics to "You Keep Me Hanging On," you would think of, a lover scorned, and a lover scorned would have a stronger emotion. Yeah. A band by the name of, I think, Vanilla Fudge covered it uh a few years later. This was during the Revolution. But again, it was a good delivery, but it again wasn't too up to par. Though one of my older bus drivers absolutely loved that version. She considers it her favorite version, but my favorite version has to be that of Kim Wilde's because basically she gave the song the life that it was missing from it. She channeled it the way that it should have been channeled all those decades before her. Don't get me wrong, the Supremes and Vanilla Fudge covers are good too, but if there's a superior version of Keep Me Hanging On, it has to be that of Kim Wilde. Man,
Okay.
I listened, I first listened to it when I was 12. It was on the Music Choice channel that was on my cable provider, and oh boy, I just fell in love with it instantly. I don't know why. At that time, I considered it entertaining. I was just blown away by it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, in the years after that, it developed a whole new meaning for me. I took its meaning to heart. As you get older, a lot of songs that you previously found entertaining, but you only seem to get casual enjoyment out of, all of a sudden turns into some sort of a mantra, if you will. It's like
Yes.
the singer, whenever you go through a hard life depicted in the song, it feels like it's speaking to you. It feels like it's speaking to
Okay.
you. Yes. And that is just
That's
me
good.
going off on a tangent. But
Yeah.
back to Paramore. Paramore did a lot of other songs as well. For their self-titled, one of my favorite tracks happens to be part two. It has sort of that new wave post-punk feel to it. Oh, transporting me back. This was shortly before Jonathan Davis left, and oh boy, news of that was pretty contentious to say the least. He was one of the founding members of Paramore, so of course, we're not gonna, I hate to say this multiple times, but we're not gonna get into that for this video. We're again talking about the positives.
Yep.
Yeah, so I believe we've ran out of topics for now. So
Yep.
if you like this video, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit the bell button if you want to be notified. And we will see you on Monday.
Okay. Yeah, on Monday.
But the articles were very enjoyable, especially the Paramore one. Oh my goodness. I would
Yeah,
love to hear David Byrne's Paramore cover. I really do.
that.
Would really
Yeah.
love to hear that. Okay. Take care, y'all.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.